Hello there. So we hear that the chances of a trade deal have dropped below 50%. I would ask, as high as that? Firstly, please subscribe and like this video to give my channel a boost. And I'm always uploading new content, so please do check back daily. And a big thanks to my Patreon and PayPal supporters. And I commence with some great news. We shall hear the peal of Big Ben ringing out across the land at 11 p.m. on the 31st of December, the very moment we step out from the EU gloom and into our bright new global future. Our members of Parliament and peers of the realm have all packed up and gone home for Christmas and the New Year. Parliament has now adjourned, and it is not due to reconvene until the 5th of January. If this situation persists, then the UK will quietly slip into a no-deal Brexit and trade with the EU on World Trade Organisation terms from 11 p.m. on the 31st of December onwards. At that point, no more Brussels interference, except where certain matters in Northern Ireland are concerned, and that has to be regularly voted on by the Northern Ireland Assembly anyway. Interference from the EU in Northern Irish matters could therefore be over in 6 years' time. But this calm adjournment of Parliament will send a gargantuan message to Brussels that the UK will only accept a trade deal on our terms or no deal at all. As, with only 13 days left until the 31st of December, there is very little wiggle room left to go through the legal and parliamentary niceties to get a trade deal ratified on time. Unless forced through using the exceptional clause in the Constitutional Reform and Governance Act of 2010. But that would be a political minefield. Tony Donnelly of RTE tweeted, "Breaking. The European Parliament has decided it will not be able to ratify any EU-UK treaty before the end of December unless the deal is concluded by Sunday." That sounds like the latest EU-driven deadline to me. And while we stick to our red lines and insist that we will not step over them, the EU27 has started to fluster both collectively and individually. Michel Barnier, the EU Commission's Brexit negotiator, is now talking about this being the moment of truth, that it's all very grave, and that we only have a few hours left to come to an agreement. While some member states are getting very twitchy that the expected and predicted London Red Line collapse isn't going to happen. The Express reports, Brussels has been urged to compromise amid fears of the horrendous impact of a no-deal Brexit on the EU economy. Belgian MEP Geert Bourgeois said that the consequences of a no-deal Brexit would cost the EU 1.2 million jobs and far surpass the disaster of the coronavirus. Mr. Bourgeois, who is the former leader of Flanders, also told MEPs that the EU has to draw lessons from Brexit and work to stop other countries from leaving the bloc. So Belgium is getting worried, and we already know that the Republic of Ireland is in near panic mode. Everything ought to be done in the last days, in the last hours, to reach an agreement with the UK because the consequences of a no deal are horrendous, Bourgeois said. For the EU, we would lose 1.2 million jobs, and this would come over and above the disaster of coronavirus. The UK would lose 500,000 jobs. In Flanders, we would lose 2.6% of our GDP and 30,000 jobs alone. But realists like him do not realise the doggedness of the EU machine. They do not understand that for Eurocrats, it is far better that everyone gets punished than one state leaving and making a success of it. In fact, the very livelihoods of the Eurocrats and the continued existence of their EU machine totally relies on Brexit being a failure for the UK. And a Finnish MEP, Laura Huhtasaari, told Brussels to look in the mirror while pointing out that the UK had already concluded 60 trade agreements around the world. "I'm actually envious of the Brits," she said. And it is heartening to hear that Dutch MEP Dirk van Eppink say that the life in the EU Parliament is dull without the UK MEPs rattling around the place. Well, some of them may be. I don't think the Green, Lib Dem, Tory and Labour MEPs could ever, in the main, have been called exciting. Whereas the Eurosceptic lot were definitely exciting. Anyway, according to reports, the mood in the negotiations has turned dark, and not helped by the following when the Sun's Harry Cole tweeted, "On state aid, EU want to exempt €750 billion funds the institutions pump across the continent from any accord. While Britain would be punished for bailing out or subsidising industries, EU would be allowed. That's not a level playing field, say one source." And he also points out that Brussels wants at least another 8 years of unfettered access to our fish. Now tell me the EU wants a level playing field. And last night the UK Brexit negotiator Lord David Frost tweeted, "The situation in our talks with the EU is very serious tonight. Progress seems blocked and time is running out. The Prime Minister Boris Johnson set out his concerns about the state of play to Commission President von der Leyen this evening." With number 10 saying, "The Prime Minister spoke to Commission President Ursula von der Leyen this evening about the state of play in the UK-EU negotiations. The Prime Minister underlined that the negotiations were now in a serious situation. Time was very short, and it now looked very likely that agreement would not be reached unless the EU position changed substantially. He said that we were making every effort to accommodate reasonable EU requests on the level playing field, but even though the gap had narrowed, some fundamental areas remained difficult. On fisheries, he stressed that the UK could not accept a situation where it was the only sovereign country in the world not to be able to control access to its own waters for an extended period and to be faced with fisheries quotas which hugely disadvantaged its own industry. The EU's position in this area was simply not reasonable, and if there was to be an agreement, it needed to shift significantly. The Prime Minister repeated that little time was left. He said that if no agreement could be reached, the UK and the EU would part as friends, with the UK trading with the EU on Australian-style terms. The leaders agreed to remain in close contact. Now, usually the UK puts out the short, sharp messages, while Brussels tends to be a lot more verbose. But on this occasion, it was different, with the EU Commission President Ursula von der Leyen saying in her statement, "This evening I took stock with UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson of the ongoing negotiations for a comprehensive partnership agreement between the European Union and the United Kingdom. We welcomed substantial progress on many issues, however big differences remain to be bridged, in particular on fisheries. Bridging them will be very challenging. Negotiations will continue tomorrow." Where'd this comprehensive partnership agreement thing come from? I thought we were now heading for a free trade agreement. Gotta say, it sounds a lot like wishful thinking from the European Union. Unless they're now packaging in shiny paper and ribbons what is turning out to be a less than ideal solution for them, ready to sell the parcel to their member states maybe. With the ideal solution for Brussels, of course, being a colonised UK. Now, the UK is destined for a no-deal exit from the Brexit implementation period, and the only thing that can stop that now is if the UK Parliament votes to accept a deal and an Act of Parliament is rushed through the legislative works to royal assent before the 31st of December. But be in no doubt a deal can still be signed after that could come into force a few weeks later, that could still tie the UK down after a brief time on WTO terms with the EU. But to get a deal done on time would take a recall of Parliament, so watch out for that, and if it does happen, put your Brexit radar on full alert. And to tie in with the EU, we might see Parliament getting recalled for Monday. MPs and Lords are on high alert for this, remember. However, should this not occur and we leave on WTO terms, a series of small mini deals to ease trade between the EU and UK that do not encroach into UK law could be agreed by the UK government and rush through to ratification. Anything's possible until we get past that magical time at the end of the year. Anyway, if you want to hear more from me, please don't forget to subscribe and also press that little bell, or you won't get any notifications. And if you want to see more of me, buy a mug with my mug on it by following the link in the descriptions box below and support me on Patreon or PayPal. So what do you think the chances of a trade deal now are? Please share and comment, and thank you for watching.